Welcome to my channel. Today we'll be talking about dilution. Dilution is when you take your raw material and you bring it down to a lower concentrate. So you can have a 1% dilution, 10% dilution, 20, 40, depending on what you want to achieve. So yeah, I have two raw materials. I have adrian and isoisop, and I'll be diluting both to 50%. So adrian is a floral raw material. It is very airy and very diffusive. It is used almost in every perfume, every fragrance type. So because it gives diffusion, it makes the fragrance wake up and airy, goes into the air. But adrian itself has a very low impact. You can hardly perceive the smell because it smells floral but very soft and very delicate. You can hardly perceive the smell. When I started my journey into perfumery, I could not differentiate what adrian smells like. My nose is always like blank, and so because of that, the fact that it has low impact and it is very diffusive, it is a very key major ingredient in perfumery because you can actually overdose it. You can use it up to 50% depending on what you are building. So you have to check the IFRA guideline to see what particular percentage of adrian can go into the type of fragrance you are building. Are you building for skincare, for baby care? Depending on the type of product you are building for. So dilution is very important, as I was saying. So you can have a 2% dilution, 1% dilution, depending on the raw material you are working with. So when it comes to perfumery, sometimes the first thing when you get your raw material, when you buy your raw material, your neat raw material, not anyhow fragrance raw materials, please. So when you get your raw material, the first thing you do is to dilute your fragrance before you start working on it, because in your journey of using a fragrance, you are going to waste. If you don't waste, you are not building perfume. That's just the truth. You are going to waste. You are going to perform so many trials and errors and things like that. So when you get your raw material, the first thing you do is to dilute it into 10% dilution. For example, you get a 10 ml raw material, you want to get a 10 ml dilution. So you're going to measure 1 ml from that your raw material, and you're going to add 9 ml, that is 9 gram. Let me say gram because mostly we work with gram. The scales are in gram. So you measure 1 gram of your raw material and you measure 9 gram of your solvents, mostly DPG. If you are working with perfumer's alcohol, you can add perfumer's alcohol, but me, I work with DPG. So 1 gram of your raw material and 9 gram of DPG, that is going to give you a 10% dilution, and that's what you're going to be using in your trials and everything like that. So this way is going to save you a lot of cost. You're not going to be wasting money, and you are going to be saving, and you know what you are doing. You are going to start, because at that dilution you are going to experience the fragrance more, because at neat the molecules are very heavy and tight together. So when you dilute it, the molecules of the raw material is going to loosen up. So you are going to start expressing the different scents and different facets, the dry down, the middle, how the perfume evolves over time. So it is very important when you get your raw material, you dilute them and you sample them.